Racer X Films has caught up with Stefy Bau, the 2-on-1, who you folks might remember as a true pioneer coming over from Italy to race and win championships in the U.S. in the women's division. But we haven't seen you at the races week in and week out anymore. Injuries kind of put an end to the racing, but you still got a lot going on.
Yes, I actually, doing a lot for the women's side of the sport.
Yep.
I'm doing Motocross schools with an emphasis on women.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to put my experience back, and give back to the community. And like you said, I was a racer before, so now I'm on the other side of the fence. But hey, enjoying it and just try to grow the women's side.
You know, a lot of riders, when they're done with their pro career, they go and they start doing riding schools, but it seems like yours is a little bit different. You got an international flair, and now you've even got some governments coming to you to ask them to do this. It's a big thing for women to have a school like this and someone high profile.
Yeah, I think I was able to position myself as a link in the world for women in motorcycling. Yeah. So with the school, like I said, emphasis on women. Now also being part of the FIM, I get this connection with the federation, and also some federations are connecting with governments. And what they want is actually really tap into this market, into the female section of motorcycling. So with the school, we are putting together, developing programs where women can apply their passion into motocross and become more active in the sport.
Give us an idea what countries we're talking about here. Some pretty exotic stuff where I didn't even know they had motocross, let alone women's motocross, and then women's motocross schools. So where have you been?
I know, it's been very exciting. I got requested for Indonesia. Okay. That's a country that you will not think that women actually raced motocross there. Yes. Then Iceland, another one, itty bitty island, in north of Europe. Yep. South America, Middle East.
The Middle East?
Yes.
What countries in the Middle East?
I had a girl from Iran that came over to train. Okay. She actually participated in one of the U.S.
Southwick, right?
Southwick, yes. And I did train her because her goal is to go back to Iran and actually teach other women in Iran to become professional riders, female riders. So she came over, and that actually was a very big story, and we got a lot of media exposure in the Middle East and also here on the CNN.
CNN?
Yes.
Now, I don't know who at this level besides you has gotten on CNN, so where does that interest come from? Is it just so exotic that Iranian women, professional, is that where the idea comes from when the news elements come to cover you?
I do think that it's actually a little bit bigger than that. I think that everyone in the world right now is really looking forward women active in extreme sport. Okay. And motocross, we are working very hard for it. So it happened that this woman, it is from the Middle East, and it is interested in motocross. So I just make together a perfect package, and media just picked it right up, and they say this is actually very powerful. Like one thing that I like to teach in my school, and what we're shooting for, it is to empower women. So that's the key, like whatever we can do to empower women, that's what we are doing, and media is interested in that, so I'm happy to be part of it.
Now, for those of you relatively new to the sport that might not remember the racing credentials, you actually raced the Daytona Supercross, it's Daytona weekend, and almost qualified against the guys.
Yeah, that was back in 2000. I came over, I'm from Italy, so I came over in 1999 to try to make a point in the U.S., as a professional racer. And I raced Supercross. I did the 4 event that year, and I actually did Daytona as well. And it was like a dream come true, being in this venue is just very good. And I'm happy to have put that nail in the coffin, because I hope they open up the door, and I actually did already, for women. And more women try to pursue their goals and keep going for it.
All right. Well, you've definitely laid some groundwork, and you're still doing it. Give us info on where we can go to your school, because it does happen in the United States too also, right?
Yes, the schools, we do group classes all over the United States, and we do private classes in Florida. But you can find any information at 211mxschool.com. Okay. We also have a Twitter account and a Facebook. Okay. So, anybody interested, and any women interested in getting into the sport, just contact us.
All right, awesome. That's Stefy Bau. Good to see good things happening for riders even when their pro days are done. That's Racer X Films.